Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Coach Tiffany Parra, editor in chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine, elevating your mind, body, and spirit. Today is our Authors Network Spotlight, and we are going to be talking about how to really get you going, get you creative, get those creative juices flowing. When you have a book in your belly, it is time to get it out. And I have a few of our contributing writers that are published authors, editors. Let me go and just bring them on in. Hey, good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning.
Good morning, Teresa.
Good morning, everyone, or afternoon or evening or the following day, wherever you are in the world.
Absolutely. So thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today. Let me just take a moment, let you go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do in the literary world. So, Stephanie, go ahead and begin.
Yes, my name is Stephanie Malink. My company is Write by Steph. I am a full service professional business writing and editing agency, and I help authors get their books out by editing them for both grammatical errors and for unclear passages, areas that need to be developed more. I also help a little bit with layout and coaching, and I also have 3 books of my own out right now: The ABCs of Living Independently When You Are Older or Frail, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Clean Living, and AI and Writing Dangers to Journalistic and Creative Writers.
Awesome. Thanks, Steph. All right, Teresa, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
I'm Teresa Palmer. I'm a holistic cardiology nurse practitioner, and I am a nurse who connects individuals to their heart. And in doing so, I connect them to their inner power. And that's our personal power for health, for well-being, for just well-being in general. And my program is Heart Consciousness. I've been using it for close to 3 decades in a private cardiology practice with good results. Patients improve their health and well-being. They become self-aware, self-confident, empowered. They partner with their healthcare provider. Overall heart health is good. And it's also for people with a heart condition, because it's not that you could always change the condition, but what you could do is improve it and give people a better quality of life. So that's what I do. My book is Heal Your Heart from Within. It's available on balboapress.com and amazon.com. And I'm in the process of writing another book.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So today we're going to dive into, how to be able to create these pieces of work undistracted. When life, what do they say? Life be life in, right? And I mean, there's always so many things going on around us. We've got people, tugging at us. We've got just a million thoughts running through our heads sometimes. And it can get very, distracting. So let's just kind of dig into it. And Stephanie and I actually spoke about this, because it can be an issue. You've got a lot of authors out there that have been, sitting on books for years because one distraction after another distraction after another distraction keeps coming. And, after a while, it's like it just kind of just goes by the wayside. And we want to make sure that you all are able to tap into that gift of being an author. So, Steph, in your opinion, why do you feel that people get so distracted? And what are some ways that they can, tap in and get undistracted when they're trying to create their books and their articles and things like that?
I think a big thing for a lot of people is fear and lack of confidence. They know they have a story in them, but they don't think anyone's going to want to read it, or they don't have time, or they don't know where to start, or they have an idea that they think has never been come up with before, and everyone is doing the same thing. I had a period last year and the year before where I had 5 women all pretty much present the exact same book to me that needed to be edited, that they're like, people need to see my story. This will change everyone's lives. And then they don't get to it. And It's kind of like the elephant in the room. You have to eat it a small bit at a time. And I feel like a great way to do that when you've got multiple people that are wanting the same thing is I've started telling them, look for an anthology. You only have to do 1,500 words. It's short. You get to the point. You can say you accomplished something. And if
Right.
it goes over, you can build on it at a later time.
So true. That is so true. And I love anthologies because anthologies, you have some partners in the mix with you to kind of help you to keep going. You can check in on each other and, and really help to get to that end game, together. So I absolutely love anthologies. So Teresa, what's your take on just all the distractions that people,
Yeah.
run into when they're trying to create their books?
Yeah, I think we have to understand we're the master of our own universe. We are who controls us, not the outside world. There's going to be plenty of distractions, chaos, everything. It's up to each one of us to take that energy and use it creatively. We could either take it and worry about things that are
Mhm.
going on. There's always going to be chaos, there's always going to be uncertainty. Or we could take the energy and we could say, individually, what can I do with this energy that could benefit me and could benefit others? And one way is to write a book.
Mhm.
People say they don't have time, but trust me, if something's important to them, they have the time. And I've
True.
always said that to my patients. They will say, oh, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. I said, but you find time to do X, Y, and Z. Oh, that's because so and so needs this. Well, think of yourself. If you
It's
could
true.
put the time aside for somebody else, you could put the time aside for you. Because if you don't put on your own oxygen mask, at that point, it doesn't matter. So it may sound harsh to people, but we are the masters. We control our lives and we create our lives. And one way we create our lives is by being connected to ourselves, knowing ourselves, getting to know who we are, what really inspires us. Maybe you
Mhm.
don't really want to write a book. Maybe somebody told you at some point that you should write a book, but maybe that's not your passion. Maybe you prefer instead to do art. So if you know yourself, you know where your passions are, you know where you're being led to.
Right.
Self confidence, it all has to do again with how do we feel about ourselves? How do we know ourselves? More
Right.
people are afraid of success than they are of failure. Very few people are afraid of failure because failure is comfortable. Failure keeps you where you're at. And it's a good excuse. Oh, I tried to write a book, but the publisher didn't want it, so I'm not going to write another book. It's very difficult to get a traditional publisher, but
Right.
it doesn't mean that you stop trying.
That's true.
Also, touching on what Stephanie said about unique ideas, there are none. And I learned that from Reed Tracy, who is the CEO of Hay House. And I'm in their writers community. And one thing he always tells us is that you don't have a unique idea. If you think you do, you're in the wrong place because what you're saying has been said over and over and over, but it's how you
How do you
say
say
it.
it?
It's not what you say, it's how you say it, how people resonate. And
Yeah.
that too is creating a space of non distraction, having your own, whether it be a desk, whether it be a corner of a room, regardless of where it is. That is your space, that is your energy. And that's what harnesses the energy. It's having things around you that make you feel inspired, whether they be photos, whether they be photos or anything. It's
Yeah.
important to have things around us that inspire us, go to the same place every day, write in the same place, do not deviate. If you don't have any ideas, don't worry about it. Thoughts come in your mind, just write them down, and eventually that becomes ideas in a book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think just journaling and just writing it all down, right? It is so, so important. And, I love to, when I start to get kind of distracted, I'll put on music. Music is so magical for me in the creation process, and I tend to use a lot of like those binaural, beats, things like that. And there are ones that are specific to creativity. You've got ones for sleep, you've got ones to help you with performance and healing and things like that. So I really just love, incorporating those things or taking myself out of the normal place, right? Sometimes I do, I love being in my space, my little space here, but sometimes I have to get out to the beach. I have to go and be around water and be around, nature, because that's something that really invokes that creativity for myself. And I know there's a lot of different tools out there. So let's talk about, some of those different tools. Like I said, we've got the binaural beats. Sometimes if my body's just kind of feeling really just kind of sluggish, I'll even go to, a gym and get in a nice little workout. It may not, it doesn't have to be anything strenuous, but I mean, if you want to go strenuous. But I love just moving, and that helps to really get those endorphins and that serotonin and that dopamine and just all those things flowing that help me to be more creative. So Steph, let's go over to you. So what are some of the tools that we can use to, when we are getting distracted, just kind of keep us on point? Because I know you shared a few things with me just recently.
My favorite new go-to to keep me distraction free, it's a little typewriter device called the Free Write. It's charges with a USB. Your files transfer to your computer with a USB. You only have so many, you can only read 3 lines of your writing at a time. So it encourages you to just get the words out. And then you do your editing process at a later time when you plug it in. It allows you to focus. There's no internet. There's no phone. There's no messages. There's no nothing. It's just literally your keys and 3 lines to see what you're typing. And the battery life is amazing. My friend that recommended it to me, he's been using his for almost 6 months now, and he has not had to charge it at all. It's cute. It's light. It comes with its own carrying case. There's different ones for like different levels of interest. If you want to connect it in different ways or transfer or have special lights or colors or screens. I just got the basic. It's like I'm just writing, taking my notebook of things that I have written, and I'm putting it all into an electronic format, and it works really good.
Oh, I love that. And I love the fact that you said taking the internet out of it, right? Because that is one of the biggest distractions for us. We start to get going on something, and then all of a sudden you hear that ding or something, and now you're over here and you're in this rabbit hole for the next, 2-3 hours or even more than that, right? So I think it's essential for us to, put our phones on do not disturb, and just really detach from everything else, so we can really get focused. So Teresa, what about you? What are some tools that you use to really just kind of stay focused when you're trying to get the writing done?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. One is I call it anchoring the energy. And by that, I mean that you pick a specific place. Like I said before, it could be in your house, out of your house, at the beach, anything. You pick a specific place, but you need to know that you have access to it on a regular basis. So sometimes the outdoors isn't the best to really anchor the energy because if it's raining, snowing, tornadoes, anything, you may not be able to access it. So it's important to have your own space. It's important to surround yourself in that space with things that energize you. And it could be, like I said before, photos. I have this little, because eventually I'm moving to the beach. I don't know if people could see
Oh
it.
yeah.
Got this little that my friend sent me. So that's what I use as part of looking at that every day. I think you have to set a certain amount of time aside, and you just have to commit to it. Just like people commit to going to work,
Right.
to picking their kids up or whatever, walking their dog, it's no different. You have to commit the time, whether it be morning, noon, or night. For me, it's in the morning before I do anything else, before I look at social media or anything, I write things down. The other thing is I take a break by walking,
Hmm.
just that movement. I'll walk around my neighborhood or whatever. And I keep my phone with me because of voice notes. So this way, if ideas come up, and they do, I've gotten a lot of ideas just by walking around. And all of a sudden, because if you're thinking too hard, if you try to force something, it's not going to happen. So if you try to sit down and say, I'm going to write for 20 minutes, that's fine if you're just going to write whatever comes to your mind. But if you say, I need to have these 2 or 3 paragraphs or 500 words done in 20 minutes, you're not going to do it because the brain is going to sabotage you. It does it all the time. It's like saying, I'm on a diet, I can't eat chocolate. Your body wants it more. So you have
Hmm.
to distract yourself. You have to replace it with something. And that's what disruption interruption is all about in psychology. You take one thing and you disrupt it with something else. So if you're sitting down and no thoughts are coming to you, disruption, how do you interrupt it? You do something that you like. For me, it's taking a walk. I go out, I don't think about the writing. That's when the ideas come. So it could be any form of distraction that you like, even if it's watching TV, watching the cars go by on the road, anything that becomes a distraction is helpful. But it's all about anchoring your energy, it's all about committing to the project, and it's about keeping with it, even if you don't feel like it. It's like even with, I'll use clinical depression. People that are depressed don't want to do things. You know what's the best remedy for that? Besides being evaluated and, if needed, the appropriate medication, is also doing things that you don't want to do. It's not that you're forcing yourself to do it. You're just getting up, you're doing it, you're moving, you're committing to, for some people, it may be getting out of bed in the morning. You're just committing to it. So it's the same thing with writing. You commit to it.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter how you feel about it. If you're not in the mood, too bad. You do it anyway. And you'll
Right.
find that your mood does change as you're doing it.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Good stuff. And I think if you, I mean, 12 minutes a day, you could take 12 minutes a day every single day and finish a book, very quickly. And it's just staying consistent, like you said. So I just love this, ladies. So, what kind of things do you all have going? I know you have some new things coming up here in the future. So, Steph, what do you have coming up in the future that some of that our audience can tap into?
Well, I am helping you with your next two anthologies, Unsnapped Women and Unsnapped Men. Um, the women's is coming out right before Mother's Day, and then the men's
Yep.
will be coming out before Father's Day, and they're going to have just wonderful stories. I haven't dug into it too deep yet, but though there's some powerful, powerful words being written for these books. And then I am also in the process of researching for my first children's book sometime this year, um, about just what is AI and what is technology for
Mm,
children. I've got the word lists of what is appropriate for the age level I'm targeting, and now I just have to sit down and do it. But the hard part is done, because with children's books, you can't just say whatever you want,
right.
especially if you're targeting school publishers, literature books for children, any of that. You have to have certain words at a certain rate. It's almost like doing science more than writing, I feel like.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, congratulations on that. I cannot wait for that because really, I mean, children need to know the ins and outs of technology and what what it is actually doing to them as well, right? Like when we look at it even at a health perspective, there are things that are going on that are preventing people from or our children from developing the way that they need to because they're so into technology and they're into AI and things like that. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited about that. So thank you, Steph. All right, Teresa, what do you got going on? What's coming up?
Well, what I've got going on is I've got a project going on. There's a couple of things. One is I'm looking to publish another book, and this time I'm looking for a specific publisher that I'm part of their community, but I'm not one of their authors as of yet. So I just finished a 47-page book proposal, and I would recommend a book proposal to anyone who's serious about writing because it really makes you clear about what you want to write, how you want to write it, your target audience, how your book fits in with other books in that same genre. It's an amazing process. So I'm done with that, and we'll see where that goes. I'm also transitioning into my own business out of a private cardiology practice into my own thing. And what that's really more about is giving people more holistic consults. I call it Heart Consciousness. It's a program that basically bridges traditional Western medicine with Eastern metaphysics, spirituality, traditions, and Eastern medicine. So it's giving people the best of both worlds. They keep their provider, cardiologist, primary care provider, whoever it is. I come in and I consult with them on how to enhance their heart health or help improve a condition with things like meditation, breath work, connecting to their heart, really connecting into that inner power. So it gives them another layer and another expanded realm of what healthcare and what heart health is, without really taking away from anything else that they're doing. So I'm not the one that focuses on diet, exercise, sleep. All those things are important. I don't focus on medications. Yes, there's a place for medications, there's a place for traditional medicine. I bridge it and help people. I show them what else is out there
Yeah.
that they could choose to resonate with or not. And I'm going to be getting an online program, a comprehensive program via video that people could take called Heart Consciousness, Giving Your Heart the Attention It Deserves. And that will be the title of my next book. So
Yes, I love it. Oh my goodness. And see, you're that one that's bridging the gap, right? I love to hear, bridging that Western medicine with, all these different things, all these ancient things that have been going on in the Eastern medicine side for, centuries. So I absolutely love what you're doing. So ladies, it has just been amazing. Tell everyone how they can get in contact with you. Once again, we'll just go around the room and just give some of our authors that are just maybe on the fence, give them a little bit of words of encouragement so we can help them to get those books out. Your story's not your story, everybody. It is someone else's story. They need to hear it, and they need to hear it the way that you say it, right? They need to hear you say it so they can get to the other side of something they're struggling with. So Steph, how can they get in contact with you, and what is your words of wisdom, words of encouragement?
The easiest way to get a hold of me is my email, writebysteph@gmail.com. I actually have a course that I offer. It's every Monday night. It's from 7 to 7:45 Central Time, and it is how to start your book. It's literally an accountability course. You can pay for 1 week, or you can pay for 3 months, or anywhere in between, and you can come in. I can just review your drafts. I can help you organize. Okay, what's the topic you want to write on? Do you know if you want to do chronological or if you want to do tips? All the different things. And then once you get started with that, I'm just an accountability partner. If you feel the need to pay the money to sit in a Zoom room with me so that I keep you clear and you want me to look at like every other paragraph or something, I'm happy to do that for you. Or if you're happy just one time and you've got your outline and you're ready to go and you want me to edit the paper your book later, I'd be happy to do that too. So send me an email if you want to attend this and let me know when.
Awesome. Thank you, Steph. All right, Teresa, how can they connect with you and what's your words of wisdom, words of encouragement?
There's several ways to connect with me. And I will be updating both my LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn, Teresa Palmer, holistic cardiology nurse practitioner. I have a Facebook page called, I think it's called Taking Heart Health to the Next Level. I just did that. And my website, which will be updated, is www.wellbeinggal.com, all one word, WELLBEINGGAL.com. So, and Instagram, people could get in touch with me. For me, I'm kind of coming back after almost a 2-year hiatus. A lot went on medically, personally. A lot of it is private stuff, but just needless to say, if I didn't know myself, if I wasn't connected to my heart, and if I wasn't self-aware of what I needed, I probably would not be here today because it was quite traumatic. So I'm coming back to social media. I'm coming back with books. I'm coming back with things. So that's where I am. My words of wisdom are really just know yourself and do it. Just get out there. You could succeed at anything you want to succeed at, barring things like maybe being too tall to be a ballerina, a gymnast, or an Olympic swimmer or decathlon. But most things within what we have inside of us, we could do. So just go out there, just do it, follow your dreams. Don't follow the chaos, just follow your dreams because the outside world can change in an instant, but it's your inner landscape is what keeps you going. And the dreams are what only you could manifest.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, ladies, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for just everything that you do, everything that you provide in the world. Thank you for being a part of the Phoenix Fitness Fanatics contributing writer team. And just keep rocking it out there, ladies. Everybody, keep an eye on these two. They got a lot coming up out there. And if you have not subscribed to Phoenix Fitness Fanatics, you definitely want to subscribe so you can see their monthly contributions on all these various things that can help you to elevate your mind, body, and spirit. We are here to help you to get physically, mentally, spiritually, as well as financially fit through shared stories, as well as our personal and professional expertise. So we love you so much, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.